welcome to morning worship. Today's topic is why devotions. Let's see what we can find out. First of all, I want to take your mind to a time when you were preparing to see that special someone. Whether it was your girlfriend or your boyfriend or even a family member that you just hadn't seen in a while. Your mind would go back to times when you were maybe sharing a dish with them or having a special conversation with them. Time when you embraced. You were so excited about having that experience all over again. I can even remember a time when the first time I had gone to Disney World and how excited I was. I had never been to Disney, but I was even more excited the second time I went, because I had already gone. I knew what I would love to experience again, the food, the atmosphere, and just everything. I was so excited even more the second time. Well, in our devotional thought today, we're going to go into the mind of David, and David is expressing himself. He's expressing the time he's missed with God. See, it's like that with devotion. When we go into devotion, we are really spending time with God. Do you anticipate that? Do you look forward to it? Or is it a drudgery? I hope not. But let's go into our Bible, and this time we're going to go to the Old Testament and look in the book of Psalms. And many of us know the book of Psalms. So let's go to chapter 42, and we're just going to read two texts. And the first text says, "As a deer pants for flowing streams, so pants my soul for you, O God." That was verse 1. And verse 2 says, "My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God?" You listen to what David is saying. When? And when did David write this? When was this written? This was a time when Absalom was in rebellion, and David was driven from his throne. And he couldn't wait. He was thinking back to the time he was with God in communion. And he looked forward to being back in communion with God. He was so excited. He says he panteth. And what do you mean by panteth? Well, when I look it up and I searched to find out what do they mean by a panteth, like a deer panteth. Okay, for flowing water. And pants or desire or look forward to it. So you can almost see a deer that is so thirsty, that's all he wants to do is to get to the water. Just to get there so he could have a drink of water. Is that the way your relationship with God is? Do you thirst and pant just so that you could get and spend some time alone in a peaceful place and spend time with God? You know, Jesus did that. He went to a place away from the crowds just so he could spend time with God. David enjoyed that experience as well. And with devotions, we can have that same experience. That's why we come and we spend time and have devotion with God. Now, in our devotion, we can have time by reading his word. We can even pray to him and tell him about all of our different needs and all the things we have that we're concerned about. It could be friends, it could be family, but it's a time to spend time and to talk and to communicate, to have God to talk to you through his word, and to you to pray to him and talk with him and to study his word as well. It is a time in your life when it's probably going to be, it could be in a nice quiet place. I hope that you could find a special place, because David was thinking back to the time and the place that he had appointed and a place he could go and to worship with God. You know, in our lives, we get real busy. We're going to and we're going fro. We're going to work. We start out our day in the morning. We go to work all day. We come back home. We fight through the traffic. And then after that, we come home. We get something to eat. Then we turn on the television or get something done. And then we go back to sleep and start the cycle all over again. But David had carved out in his schedule time for God. Why? He says, I panted. He yearned to be with God. Out of all the things that were happening, all the stuff he had to confront and to deal with on a day-to-day basis, he took time out to spend with God. That's extremely important. So what happens when we spend time with God? We become renewed. We gain our strength. We hear the will of God in our lives. That's why we spend time. So devotion, why devotion? Above all things, is to spend time with God. We want to be in the presence of God. Now ask yourself this question. Do you like being in the presence of God? Do you like spending time with Him? Or maybe you say, I love God, but I don't have time in my schedule. I'm so busy. But remember, if you love God, you're going to carve out some time. Like, you know how you had that special someone in your life? There wasn't anything that could stand between you and that special someone. Not anything. No job, no car, no family, no nothing. You just wanted to spend time with that person. And that's how it is, or should be, between you and God. Between us, all of us, and God. We should yearn, and I mean yearn, pant, like we're so thirsty. We follow after it. We seek after it. Nothing will keep us from spending time with our loving Savior. Isn't that wonderful? I hope that's wonderful for you. So if in your schedule, it doesn't matter how long it is, but what you'll find out is that the more time you spend, every time you spend, you'll spend more and more because you'll enjoy it more and more. And you'll have to say, I need to put this aside so I can get some other things done. But you can't wait to get back to the time that you spend with Jesus. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do today. Spend some time. See, He is our source of strength. He is our problem solver. He is the one who gives us the strength to go to work every day and to pay our bills and to do all of those things. Won't you take time with Him? Go ahead. Just plan, even if you start with prayer. And then the next day after you do prayer, then you say, I'm going to do prayer and I'm going to start reading one book in the Bible. I'm going to start with one verse. And then the next day, increase it to 2 verses. Then the next day, increase it to 3 verses. Then maybe next week, you'll increase it to an entire chapter. And then the next 2 chapters. You will find out in some cases, you'll be able to get through the whole book in one setting. Because as you read it, the more you'll enjoy spending that time. Remember, every time you see where God says, come aside and be with me, it's because He wants to be with you. He yearns to be with us, and we, in return, in our love for Him, we want to be with Him. Think about that today. Do you yearn to be with God? Do you want communion with Him? He wants it with you? Yes, He does. So, plan your day. Plan it and put it in the day. And what you're going to have to do is be determined, no matter what, to take time out with God. And you'll find out even one text, if you look it up, it'll give you so much to enrich you. So try. Make a promise to yourself today that you're going to try to spend at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever, to spend some time with God and do it every day. You'll find out that everything about you, everything will go sweeter and sweeter. Even if you have bad days, you always got time to go back and tell God about it. And remember, He knows how to fix it. And you have a blessed day. Thank you.